According to some industry reports, Netflix spent over $90 million on its action fantasy Bright, a bargain for a blockbuster, but a huge chunk of change for a film that will barely receive a theatrical release. So strictly from a showbiz perspective, Bright is already one of 2017's most fascinating films, if only because it shows just how much subscriptioning services will spend on splashy original content in order to become an essential part of a media consumer's diet. As a piece of entertainment, though, Bright is only interesting for how confused it appears to be in regard to its central audience. Screenwriter Max Landis and director David Ayer have taken a premise that could have worked reasonably well as a family-friendly television series, mismatched buddy cops busting criminals in a fantastical version of Los Angeles, and have turned it into a violent, 2-hour movie, weighed down by heavy mythology. Co-stars Joel Edgerton and Will Smith do what they can to give a dark, dreary story some star power, with varying degrees of success. Even under layers of makeup, Edgerton is likable as Nick Jacoby, a monstrous in appearance but mostly sweetly dorky orc who gets a job as an LAPD beat cop in an alternate modern-day LA where fairies, elves and the like live uneasily alongside humans. Smith struggles to apply his usual roguish charm as Daryl Ward, a veteran policeman and orc hater who's been partnered with Jacoby via the department's diversity program. Smith tries and fails to coast by with a smirk and wink, harking back to his crowd-pleasing Men in Black and Independence Day characters. Ayer and Landis haven't made it easy for their leads. Bright smartly jumps right into the action, showing Ward and Jacoby going about their everyday crime-fighting business, all while suffering the racist jeers of colleagues and neighbors. But because there's so much to explain about this world, the actors have to shoehorn a lot of backstory between all the insults. The bulk of the film has to do with a magic wand the partners stumble across, right as they've become the targets of multiple assassination plots, from within the department and without. While fending off everyone who wants them dead, Ward and Jacoby find themselves in the middle of an ancient conflict involving dark elves such as Layla, played by Noomi Rapace, bright elves such as Tika, played by Lucy Fry, and an order of human warriors who've been waiting for generations to step in once the truce between fairy folk and mankind collapses. The whole concept of a Lord of the Rings-style multi-species war playing out in 21st century LA is a pretty good one. Undoubtedly Netflix would love for Bright to launch a franchise, giving whomever writes and directs future installments the room to explore this universe, with all of its prophecies, rituals and subcultures. But frankly it's hard to imagine Bright inspiring anyone to want to see or make a blown series of films. Aside from a few nifty ideas and the occasional amusing or exciting scene, this film is a chore. Landis has shown some wit and imagination with his past screenplays for American Ultra and Mr. Right, but the script for Bright, reportedly rewritten heavily by Ayer, is laden with glib and corny attempts to reference real-world racial animus. Warning, it only takes about 10 minutes for the line "fairy lives don't matter" to pop up. As for Ayer's direction, Bright has a lot more in common with his thudding, at times incomprehensible Suicide Squad than his respectably lean tough guy movies Fury and End of Watch. The film's look and tone is so aggressively grim that feel almost seems like a joke. Ultimately, the biggest problem with Bright is that it squeezes nudity, profanity and blood into the kind of adventure that should be aimed more at adolescents, right down to its simplistic lessons about tolerance. The movie's on-screen message is, if you act like my enemy you become my enemy. But acting like an R-rated fantasy blockbuster doesn't magically transform Bright into RoboCop, Blade Runner or any of the other adult-oriented genre classics. That'd be a much better use of TV viewers' time and money. Bright not rate running time, 1 hour, 57 minutes. Blank, Regency Bruin, Westwood. See the most read stories in entertainment this hour. Caption calendar at lawtimes.com. Also Mudbound tops Mark Olson's 10 best films of 2017. Call Me By Your Name, The Florida Project lead Justin Chang's 12 best films of 2017. Kenneth Turan's best films of 2017 include The Shape of Water and The Post. Netflix. Joel Edgerton, Will Smith, Noomi Rapace.